We were literally at the theatre checking a world premiere. We were due to open 3 days later when everything got shut down. Look, initially we were projecting to take about a $4 million revenue hit to the bottom line.
This is rehearsal COVID-19 style, as the Sydney Dance Company prepares for its first show since restrictions were introduced back in March.
We are delivering a program that is entirely COVID safe and socially distanced, which is a very unusual thing for contemporary dance. Normally there's a huge amount of contact on stage.
JobKeeper and donations have kept the company afloat for now. They've applied for but not yet received any federal rescue funds.
At the end of 2020 we will be posting a deficit and we'll certainly be starting to eat into our reserves.
In New South Wales, audiences of 50% capacity or up to 1,000 people are now allowed. But across the country, companies simply don't know how they'll recover from the enormous losses of this year.
You know, our industry is basically stopped. And so it's really, really critical that more is done and more is quickly done to ensure that we don't lose the cultural assets that we have. And these can be big cultural assets, kind of big, large companies, or it can be your local music venue.
We're dealing with extreme pay cuts, like everyone. We're looking at, shedding, our workforce. How many slashes can we take to survive?
Back in May, the Australian Chamber Orchestra started digital performances. The ACO has begun to return to the stage, but the challenge is audience capacity.
We're all operating at the margins. We need the greatest capacity we can have, and anything less than 100% capacity becomes an issue very quickly.
The ACO's Richard Evans is also president of Live Performance Australia. He paints a grim picture of the future.
The Australian performing arts industry is about to go through the most catastrophic resizing it's ever experienced.
At the end of June, the federal government announced a $250 million rescue plan for the creative economy. But 7 months into the pandemic, the money has only started flowing for film and TV. The rest of the arts industry is yet to see a cent.
We've moved as quickly as we possibly can because we need to get that money to work.
The RISE and the Sustainability Fund, which is for companies at risk of insolvency, didn't even start taking applications till August the 31st.
We need to balance good process and speed. So we've moved quickly, and as I say, I expect that well before the end of the year, we'll be announcing the results of the first round of grants.
Is that fast enough?
We are moving quickly so that we can get the money.
They don't think it's that quickly. The companies that are struggling don't think it's quickly.
I understand. These are very tough times in the arts sector.
The funding support's been slow. We've only just received our first amount of state funding. We haven't received any federal funding as yet.
Companies in Melbourne, like the Malthouse Theatre, have been hit especially hard after Victoria reintroduced tough restrictions to battle a second wave of COVID-19.
We've got plans for trying to set up an outdoor stage in our courtyard at the Malthouse in the summer. So that's our sort of first priority, is how to use the outdoor space to be part of re-energising the city when it's opening up. And then we're going to look at how we can perform indoors but with smaller numbers, which is where we're going to really need the support next year.
Yeah, I had my whole year booked and beyond. I had work booked for early next year as well, and that was it. It was all gone.
Bert and Amanda Labonte are both actors and have worked consistently for nearly 3 decades. Bert was performing in Cloud Street when everything shut down.
We just kind of feel like we were left out of the equation when it came to support, who's going to help the arts. It's that whole idea that it's not a real industry.
Amanda is on JobKeeper because she was on a major production set to return, but Bert has had to find work where he can.
I feel like we're a long way behind here in Melbourne, and we're going to need a lot more support to keep us going until we're safely able to open the doors.
Restrictions may be easing, but many companies still have no idea when or if they'll be able to return to what they love.
We're also really concerned about 2021. What does that future look like? Will audiences come back?
There is money there. We would all like it to be moving more quickly. The key thing is that it begins to move now, especially now where there's an air of optimism about things. People are beginning to put shows on again. There is a glimmer of light at the end of the tunnel. We just need to move down that tunnel quickly.
Hi, I'm Lee Sales. Thanks for watching this story. If you'd like to watch more of 730's stories, they are on the left of your screen. And tap on the button below to subscribe and get the latest from ABC News.